Good morning, everyone. Today is Monday, August 20th, 2018, and this is your JRPG Weekly Update, starting with some news not necessarily directly related to RPGs. In fact, it's more so just gaming news. It's kind of interesting to me, though, because I've recently been exploring streaming options and that sort of thing, and as it turns out, Valve has actually leaked, I think they accidentally leaked / announced inadvertently, that they are developing a new platform to compete with Twitch, and it's called Steam.tv. Apparently, they were trying to test some of their own services privately, incidentally sent out a notification to a lot of people of that feed that they were testing. So that's kind of interesting. I suspect that it's probably going to tie directly into Steam, and you can probably stream directly from within Steam to Steam.tv. I mean, that's conjecture, but I think that's a pretty safe bet. And I'm guessing it's probably maybe going to be exclusive to streamers who are using Steam as a service. So it's probably, I don't know how well it's going to compete with Twitch, especially considering how well established Twitch is. But hey, what are you going to do? Sounds like they wanted to enter into the foray, and I guess we'll see how that goes. And honestly, the more competition, the better. Also, sort of a new detail about the new Digimon game, Digimon Survive. It looks like they've announced or they've revealed that you can actually have friends die within the game, making this actually a pretty dark potential entry into the series. Permadeath. So that kind of makes a lot of sense, though, since it's going with the strategy RPG build of the game, or strategy RPG genre that they're going with this time. So that could be pretty interesting. I'm kind of suddenly a little more interested in this new direction that Digimon is taking. As for new game announcements, we have some interesting news about Etrian Odyssey X, as it was known over in Japan. It didn't look like we were going to get it for a while, but as it turns out, we are. Atlas is planning to bring Etrian Odyssey X over to the West as Etrian Odyssey Nexus. And Dongen Entertainment has announced that Vestaria Saga is coming to Steam in the West in 2019. And for those of you who do not know, this is a game that's being created. It's a strategy RPG for PC that has actually got an interesting creator involved. The creator of the Fire Emblem series is involved in the production of this game. So if you're interested in more gameplay like what would be found in the earlier Fire Emblem games, then maybe this could be up your alley. And also recently announced was a Western-style open-world RPG featuring both single-player and co-op. It seems to be kind of inspired by Morrowind, actually. This is called Outward, and it's coming to PC, PlayStation 4, and to Xbox One. And it looks like it's going to be pretty interesting. And everything I've been reading about the development and the goals of the game developers here has been really promising. I suspect that this is going to be pretty interesting, so I'm going to keep my eyes on this one. And as for ports and release date updates, we have a release date update for the Steam port of Disgaea 5, which we are expecting to see in closed beta in September, but a full release on Steam in October. Also, Super Neptunia RPG unfortunately was delayed and pushed back to spring of 2019. Anodyne, a PC game, is actually getting a port over to PlayStation 4 and Xbox One in September. This is a Zelda-inspired game that looks pretty interesting, but it also has a sequel on the way coming to Steam that actually grabbed my attention a little bit more. It is a low-polygon PlayStation / Nintendo 64 inspired successor to Anodyne called Anodyne 2. It features an art aesthetic very similar, very reminiscent of early PlayStation and Nintendo 64 style games, which is kind of interesting. We've seen a lot of like pixel art kind of games making a resurgence, but very few have decided to pick up the visual style of the early PlayStation polygonal games, and now it looks like we're starting to see that with this game, and that is pretty interesting. So I'll be keeping my eye on this one as well, even though it's currently only announced for PC. And last week on SuperDerek RPGs, we had a discussion talking about why we need physical copies of games, not just from a perspective of ownership, but also practicality and video game preservation, which is a subject that's kind of come up in recent news as various ROM sites have been taken down in response to Nintendo's attack on ROM hosting websites these days. On Friday, I released my impressions of Valkyria Chronicles 4 after playing through the demo for PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch, and Xbox One. Well, I didn't play through all of them. I played through the one on Switch, but it's available on all of those. While it was a very fun game overall, I decided that maybe it wasn't for me. And if you want to know why, go check out that video. Last week on SuperDerek Streams, I began my migration over to Twitch, which I now have a Twitch channel, guys. If you hadn't already been following me there, please do. It's over at twitch.tv/SuperDerek and that's where I stream all my games before I go to review them. And also on the topic of streaming, this weekend I attempted to stream from start to finish all of Terranigma in one sitting. Unfortunately, I encountered some technical difficulties along the way, which led to losing entire save files mid-game. About 15 hours in, I had a computer crash, and well, I could not continue on further. I honestly don't really want to talk about it. It makes me pretty upset just thinking about the progress that was lost, but we will probably try again at some point later on. If you did make it there, thank you for supporting me and keeping me company for that, and hopefully you guys can also join me next time. Anyways, for new releases for this week, we have Shenmue 1 and 2. Make sure you guys go get Shenmue 1 and 2. Shenmue 1 is amazing. It was a lot of fun to play on the Dreamcast, and I hear Shenmue 2 is even better, and I definitely would love to play Shenmue 2, and especially with Shenmue 3 just around the corner. Go buy Shenmue 1 and 2, the HD remaster. It's only like $30, which is a steal. If you have, this is a really old review, but if you are curious about Shenmue 1 and what it's like to play, definitely go check out my review of Shenmue. It's an old one, but it checks out. Shenmue HD Remaster comes out tomorrow for all consoles and PC, and also we have a JRPG coming out called Fall of Light Darkest Edition, which is available tomorrow on all platforms. So, thank you for joining me, guys. If you have any news that you would like to have featured on the show, please be sure to tweet them to me at SuperDerek RPGs with the hashtag SuperDerekNews, and I'll give you the credit. Anyways, guys, thank you again. I am SuperDerek, and this was all news to me.